So it happened that one time I got lost, and instead of, you know, I ended up in the cellar where I saw Rena adding water to the barrels. If you can't get drunk, because if you're a regular at the establishment, you always go there, you know where the bathrooms are, okay? And if it's so diluted that you can't get shit-faced from it, then how did you get lost? Hello everybody and welcome to We the Revolution. Now We the Revolution is a courthouse simulator where you're a judge in the French Revolution and you need to pass judgment on people. And I'm super psyched for this. I think that's going to be super fun. Basically you have to listen to the statements, you have to look at the evidence provided, and then you need to pass judgment on the people. And you also need to keep in mind that there might be an expectation of the populace to the outcome. So maybe you want to sway one way or the other in your verdict, and in the end you have to decide if the person is innocent, or if you should go to jail, or if you should be executed. Now it is the French Revolution, so it's a very interesting time frame for a game like this, because obviously the French Revolution is where ideas like equality and freedom, or human rights even, first appeared. But at the same time, the French Revolution is infamous for being an incredibly brutal time. I think there was something like 15,000 guillotined people. There have been mass murders to a point where the Wikipedia article, I think, actually mentions genocide. I probably wouldn't go that far, but it was an incredibly brutal time, and you need to be very careful. Now, I myself have limited knowledge on the French Revolution. I do know a few things, and if something strikes me, I'll say it. But do feel free in the comment if I'm saying something wrong to correct me and to be like, no, it wasn't like that, it was more like this, or whatever. Obviously, I'm only human, and I'm not a French historian, so I might make grave mistakes here. Anyway, let's start up this game. I'm gonna shut up for the intro, and I'm gonna see you after it.
Father, I am here. Do you hear me? I gave you the best I could. Why did you disown me? I have your blood in my veins. How could you? Do I mean nothing to you? Why did you grieve for him? He was nothing. I am better than he was. People will follow in my footsteps. Father.
Man, that's a good voiceover. I'm not entirely certain what happened. We did see him kill the guy in front of him because he was holding the bloody rock in his hand, but I'm not sure what we've just watched, to be completely honest. France, turn of the 18th century. So the prologue begins. The prologue is basically the tutorial, and I've played the prologue so far, just so I know where I have to click. Yeah. We're coming from a binger. Someone's had a little bit too much. Again, I've played the prologue before, so I know where to click. So I'm gonna rush through it. It's basically a mock trial for our son, who's been in a fight, and yeah, we're gonna go a little bit quicker through it, but I will explain where is what on the screen myself. I'm not gonna follow the tutorial instructions. Remind me, Raymond Devoyer. Remind me next time that I want to stop drinking this cloudy rot good ragu. Remind me before I drink it. We're disgracing Themis. Is someone coming? This was bound to happen, says Mathilde Fidel. This is our wife. This is our little son. This is our older son. And I think he's our mentor. I think he's like our boss. I'm actually not entirely certain on that, but I think he is. I told you. Papa, you said you would, we would go. You promised. Papa had a lot of work. Yeah, there's a lot of heavy glasses. You promised me. I can't anymore. I'm fed up with asking. Mama is angry because... Quiet! Today your favorite son wanted to prove he was more honorable than his father. So he started a fight. A 5-year-old boy, for God's sake. Our neighbors wanted you to explain that to them, but well, you were fighting for justice at an inn. Damn you, you bloody drunk. Mother. So we have documents and letters down here. We have the events. Yeah, I'll skip through this actually. I think it's better if I explain that myself. So right here we have the news. This will be something we have to take care of today, but unrelated to the case itself. The notebook is basically filled with information on how much the people like us, on our previous sentences, and on the modifiers we're getting from, for example, our family hating us, or us having ruled against the people and the people hating us, and stuff like that will be shown here. Obviously, that's not important right now. This is the case file about the case. That will be the last thing we click on. This is our verdict form where we choose if someone's guilty. Do keep in mind that we literally get to choose right now. Like, you don't even have to look at the case file, and this actually stays like that throughout the game. You don't really have to look at the case file at any point. It obviously makes sense if you want to be a good judge, but you can just look at someone and be like, I don't like this guy's face, and guilty him. Yes, so let us get started. First of all, up here we have the hierarchy. Right now, the only person in the hierarchy that we can see is ourselves. This is us, Fidel, a judge of the Revolutionary Tribunal, generally considered a drunkard and a gambler, a protege of Raymond Devoyer, who introduced him to the world of law and regulations. In private, he's an unremarkable character. Unremarkable. How dare you call us that? But we're going to try to change that. By the way, I'm going to try. Again, I haven't played the game. I don't know how hard it is. I'm assuming it's going to be pretty hard. But I'm going to try to be a good person. I'm going to step out of my way to become known as a good person. We'll see about that. We'll see if I can, but we'll try. Let's start off with the news. Basically, we need to make decisions here. Actually, I love the art style in this. I absolutely adore this art style. Your addictions are no longer a secret. The fact that other children are bullying your son because of them is a minor problem. Actually, your son being bullied is not a minor problem, but okay. But who is spreading those rumors? It is likely to be one of their parents. They could have whispered into their children's ears whom they shouldn't play with or why. They might even have spiced the story up with a lie. But who will hear it next? Now, we can intimidate the parents, we can talk to the parents ourselves, or we can ignore it. Okay, I'm gonna be completely honest. When I did this, I did the let's talk IHI because that is how I would solve it in reality. Like, I would walk up to someone and I'd be like, hey, I hear you talking shit about me. Like, what's up with that? Like, come on, say it to my face, man. Don't drag children into adult issues. That totally backfired. That was a terrible decision. So we're gonna go and intimidate the parents. Okay, we're gonna try that. We're gonna see what happened in the other cases. Basically, you get pushed down, and everyone thinks you're a total loser. Like, you go up to the parents, and even though you're a judge, they just push you around, and everyone calls you a loser and poopy face. And then you still have to intimidate them. What this is on the right, you saw that -3, -1. You do have like daily influence points down here. We get +3, but they don't really save up and stuff. I'm gonna be completely honest. I have not fully understood how they work. They don't get saved up, and I've never ran. I mean, I only did the prologue, but I didn't seem to run out. But I also didn't seem to get any more. It was weird. We'll see about that during this playthrough. Let's read the case file on our son. How this works is basically we get to read it, and then we get to make deductions. And based on the deductions, we ask our questions. Alright. To Judge Alexis Fidel, we have not expected this kind of behavior from your son, although apparently we should have. Innocent child's play 2010 assault on our children. The younger one, Antoine, now has a chipped front tooth. We hope that you will punish your child accordingly. Should the situation repeat itself, we'll react more decisively. I am sure we can deal with a gambler and a drunkard, even if he is a judge. We will not let our children be hurt. Okay, first of all, I'm a judge of the French Revolution. And yes, I'm apparently a drunkard and a gambler. The game says that quite often. Even our wife she did not sugarcoat that. And I mean, I'm sitting here with a hangover. But the fact is, I'm still a judge of the French Revolution. And whoever the hell these children's parents are, I'm pretty sure they can't handle that. Anyway, let's make our deductions here. These actually aren't deductions. How it works is you have to pick something and then you have to basically put it in a category. And there's only one correct answer. So child's play, for example, is course of events, extenuating circumstance, or victim. It's obviously part of the course of the events. Possibility of repeating is extenuating circumstance. No! Oh, frick, that's a trap. Basically, we need to reveal 3 more questions, is what it tells us here. Fighting children is course of events. The chipped tooth is a victim. Injured Antoine is also a victim. So now you see we got all the questions unlocked, and now we are talking to him. If we're in the normal page, we do this by clicking on him. So we can ask him, how did your play turn into a fight? What exactly were they saying? Who started the fight, and did you really break Antoine's tooth? Let's start off with who started the fight. Who started the fight? I can tell you who ended it. Oh, come on, that's your brother, okay? I think it was me. I kicked the one to the left and then wanted to get one on the right, but they ended it. They knocked me to the ground and paid me back for hitting them. Did I really break his tooth? Frederick's just a child. I don't know, I don't think so. Did you hit him in the face? I think I kicked him, but not that hard. Okay, he seems to be quite honest, and honestly, unless this guy, unless I've put him into some serious martial art classes, this little guy did not kick anyone in the face, okay? How do you play it turn into a fight? Our neighbors, Antoine and Jean, they were saying mean things about you. We were playing cards and they asked me to pretend to be a drunkard whom they would, you know... You were fighting both of them at once. I had to. What exactly were they saying? Are you too drunk to guess? I am your father, Bernard. I am your father, Bernie. Okay, I'm gonna call you Bernie because that's no way to talk to your dad. I was not asking you, Bernie. They were yelling that you, well, I told them that it's not true, and they started calling me names. They called me a drunkard's son. Well, that's a very uncreative name, I want to point out. That is an incredibly uncreative name. Okay, now we need to file a verdict. Usually there's also like evidence and stuff, but obviously since this is a mock trial, there's no evidence. No one else has anything to say. We have no more questions to ask. We can... Oh. Okay. Somewhere we could also read up what he said, but that's not really important right now at this point. We have to choose if he's guilty or not guilty. See, they're kids. They were playing, they were roughing each other up. It's obviously not a real trial, but even then, I think the other kids instigated it. They did push him. He didn't break their tooth. I don't believe that part. I'm pretty sure that the tooth part at least is a lie. That's probably just the dad trying to make me pay for his son's tooth replacement. You know what I mean? That sounds very unlikely. He also got a beating. He was fighting 2 kids at once. So I'm gonna make him non-innocent. I'm gonna say he's not guilty. Also, he's my little kid, okay? So even in this mock trial, you stand up for yourself, man. You stand up for yourself and you stand up for your old man. You did well. A man has to defend the honor of his family no matter what. Yeah, I'm gonna defend that little kid's honor as well, okay? This family, we're gonna have each other's back. Those children are so small and they already know the truth. The father of my children is a lying drunk and a gambler. Bernard used to worship you, but he soon grew up. Now it is Frederick's turn to learn the truth that echoes in the streets. He's no longer fearing your anger. He knows that your threats are empty. Frederick is only starting to learn the truth about his father from the street. I was unaware that Matilda had such a temper. As was I. We'll wait outside, as always. I think Mathilde, I'm not entirely sure how French person would pronounce this. Mathilde, I don't know. I don't think she loves me like from the bottom of her heart anymore. Like I feel like there's some unhappiness in our relationship. That is a beautiful picture of France with the Seine.
Paris. Liberté.
Égalité, fraternité.
The idea of freedom. We could not resist it. Whole families took to the streets. France was never so happy. We were enchanted by the idea of freedom.
That was well done. I like these cutscenes. I like the art style. I really do. It's for those who don't really know about the historical background, basically what the French Revolution was, it was the people rising for, well, the three big ones, liberté, égalité, fraternité. But the problem was that it soon spiraled out of control, and eventually you got this reign of terror, meaning these free people just started basically murdering. So it became an issue. Anyway, we now do see the expected sentence, so we do know that the common folk want to see this guy go to prison, and the revolutionaries also want to see this guy go to prison. So in this case, we kind of know what's supposed to happen. We also will see what the jury wants us to do. It's usually smart to, according to the game, again, we haven't played it yet, according to the game, it is smart to vote with the jury, but obviously we also want to make them like us. So in this case, assuming the jury also wants to imprison him, it's gonna be quite easy for us to make the choice. But again, you are free. You can technically say acquittal, but everyone will hate you then. Now, this will obviously be harder if those two wouldn't agree to each other, and if the jury doesn't agree. Let's look at the news here. Most Parisians are ordinary. They have ordinary problems, ordinary consciences, and ordinary resistance to pain. They were not hardened by the revolution. The father of the family that spread the rumors about your weakness was no different. A few punches were more than enough to convince him, his instincts, that it was time to stop talking. So the common folk hate us a little bit, because we've basically, like, we silenced, okay? The common person don't like it if rich people silence other people. But our reputation increased. Alright. This is our new case. We don't have to make a decision here. This is now a modifier. So if we go into our notebook, okay, we see the modifiers here. It should also say here, the global modifiers should be shown here as well. I'm not sure why they aren't, but that's okay. We don't have to do a report for what it sounds. Let's see what's happening. Case file. Compiled by Richard Monnier. Jean Renard, a 45-year-old innkeeper, has been charged with fraud. He is accused of diluting alcohol in his tavern, tricking his clients into paying extra. Guests came with a mindset set on a specific goal, getting roaring drunk, but instead of staggering out after drinking 2 pitchers of wine or several pints of beer, they would sit in the inn until morning, still sober and completely penniless. The innkeeper's fraud came to light when one of the customers discovered the scam and caught the cheater in the act. The man entered the host's cellar and witnessed him diluting the alcohol in the barrels with ordinary water. As a result, customers received only 4 parts of what they paid for and 1 part from the water carrier. So, first of all, with that story, if it's a 4-2-1, alright, that means it's still 80% the drink you thought. How can you keep drinking then the entire night and not get drunk? Like, basically that means if you used to drink 4 beers and you'd get super drunk, you'd now need 5 beers. Now, I'm still saying that's a crime, but it sounds a little bit extreme. Like, if you were planning on getting roaring drunk and you keep drinking all night, I'm pretty sure you're still trying that. Anyway, the innkeeper, I don't actually know. Diluting alcohol obviously is the method. Customers' drunkenness is witness? Motive? Exposing the innkeeper is witness. Adding water is the method. And we got all the questions. Okay. We do have all of them. So let's start asking. In difficult times, people like to seek peace at the bottom of a glass. Please introduce yourself. My name is Jean Renard, Monsieur le Juge. Nothing but a fraud. Yes, again, the jury will make its own decision. I think we can kind of steer that. It will always say here where this will make the jury go, but I don't know. I think we're gonna ask as much as possible. Like, I just want to know what's going on, and then we'll have to see how we deal with the jury. But I'm not gonna look at that and try to sway the jury. Like, I don't want to move the jury in a direction. I want to know what's happening, and I want to be honest here. How long have you been involved in the illegal practice of diluting alcohol? It's not an illegal practice, everyone adds a bit. I'm pretty sure it is an illegal practice. In your case, it was a bit of wine in the water and not the other way around. It's still 80%, guys. We've been doing this for a long time. A few weeks at the most. It's been hard to earn a living lately. I used to run an honest business, but pure wine was overspilling the glasses. Is there any proof to support your testimony? You lied to his customers, no reason he wouldn't lie in court. Really? This made you want to let him go? Are you guys serious? How do you feel about tricking weary citizens? Terrible, but all I wanted was to keep my business afloat. You just said it was a normal business that everyone's doing. Others don't mess around for sure. No diluting would be the end of me. So I decided to commit fraud so as not to lose money. If I lost my and my family would starve to death. Do you have children? I do, 1 son and 2 daughters. Time to start saving up for the dowry. Then why don't you send them to work, idiot? Please don't call in Thomas Leclerc. I think that's the witness. Please introduce yourself. Thomas Leclerc, I am a regular at Jean Renard's establishment. You do look like the regular at a bar. You do have the look of it, don't you? How long have you suspected that something was wrong with Mr. Renard's alcohol? How did you catch in the act of diluting one with water? How did you catch him? I was having one drink after another, so I had to, you know, Monsieur le Juge. I know. So it happened that one time I got lost, and instead of, you know, I ended up in the cellar where I saw Renard adding water to the barrels. If you can't get drunk, because if you're a regular at the establishment, you always go there. You know where the bathrooms are, okay? And if it's so diluted that you can't get shit-faced from it, then how did you get lost? I ended up in the cellar where I saw Renard adding water to the barrels. The thing is, he admits to adding it. Like, he admits to it. We don't really have a thing here. Do your clients drink a lot? That has nothing to do with anything, but I'm gonna ask it anyway, because why not? Let's ask. Do your clients drink a lot? Tavern regulars usually drink a lot. So you've been selling plenty of wine. Quite a lot, yes. And yet you have been paying taxes on the amount of wine you have bought, not the amount of wine you've been selling, correct? I don't understand. You've been paying taxes on 4 wine barrels, but by adding a quarter of water to each, you've actually made the money of selling 5 wine barrels. I didn't even think about the tax part here. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't think about the tax part, but obviously he's been cheating the state as well. That's one way of putting it. Perhaps it is correct. I'm not so good with numbers. You're not good with numbers. It's good enough to have calculated that fraud pays off. I wasn't aware. I will take that answer into account. The judge has exposed the bastard. Okay, we did expose him. So I think all we have to do is verdict form. It's prison. Just prison acquittal. They want him in prison. They want him in prison. We know he's guilty. He's actually admitted to being guilty. So we're going to send him to prison. We don't get to guillotine people yet. And obviously we wouldn't want to guillotine him either. It's still just putting a little bit of water in the wine, you know. No reason to murder this person. But still, we wouldn't even have the possibility if we wanted to. We will put him in prison because he's guilty. We will thereby choose with the jury and with the people and with the revolution. And that's all. Fiddle! We did it. I sentence a citizen Jean Renard to prison. Lead the condemned out. Huzzah! Long live pure wine. I underline this statement. Long live the pure wine. That is, as someone who likes a drink of the sauce from time to time myself, I do understand the wish for pure wine. Moving on. Let us move on to the end of the day. Well, mind you that you promised to join me. I have a feeling that tonight's moon favors gamblers. Though it does not favor spouses. God should grace us with wives who understand the importance of an evening game of dice. They should also know that the right amount of wine guarantees a lucky roll. I should probably go home. Bring a judge to a game has benefits. Other players will surely not cheat. Well, that is not a strong argument. My name is Jacques-Louis David. I am but a humble painter, not a silver-tongued judge. You're a sly politician, Jacques. As a politician, I understand the importance of keeping promises, and you, my friend, are trying to get out of yours. See, I also promised the wife. Okay, so saying this is keeping the promise is kind of a lie, because I technically promised both. Now, obviously, I'm not keeping this promise, but I'm not keeping a promise either way. Again, I want to be a good man. I'm going to go home. I'm going to spend the night with my wife, I think. We did promise her. We also still need to talk to Sonny. I mean, I did let him go in this fake trial here, but I still want to hit him on the fingers and be like, you know what, maybe next time use your tongue, okay? You want to learn how to be good at talking, because that's kind of what it takes to be a judge, okay? You can't beat up people in a judge room either, and obviously you're going to follow into Daddy's footsteps, okay? You're going to become a judge too. Not tonight, Jack. Everyone's having fun, but I'm not there. How are you having fun without me? Oh, I look so miserable at home. Why is being at home shown as being so miserable? Especially, I also see a bottle of wine on the table. Like, you're still getting a drink, you know what I mean? Like, don't be too sad. Oh, she's happy with my decision. I'm not. I want to play and lose our family fortune. And she's like, oh, he's sitting here, eating away the family fortune. You know, it's baby steps, everybody. That evening, the judge's house. What? You do not want to berate me, like you always do. You know how to start a conversation, don't you, Alexis? You are a woman's man. I'm glad you're home. Are you aware that Frederick sometimes imagines you as a deep-sea sailor? He dreams that you visit distant countries and have wonderful adventures. But he would rather have you by his side on land. We all want that. I don't want to watch the storm blow your lifeboat away and bury it beneath the waves. There are no waves. The storm's getting closer. Dark clouds already hang over the shore, just wait until they finish building the guillotine. Your oars will break at once, and the waves will take you to a place you'll wish you'd never set foot on. A place without us. Are you holding me responsible for building the guillotine? Just how about you say, I realize your job's gonna be a little bit harder, okay? Like, how about some support, woman? Okay, you seem to live pretty well for revolutionary France times, okay? You don't have a bad life. How about you say thank you to your husband from time to time? Your family loves you, but we won't find you in the darkness that has already begun to reach for you. Do you, though? Because you seem to be a little bit on the naggy side, Mathilde. Like, you seem to like a good nagging. I came home to spend some quality time with my family, and this is the interaction I get. Family actions. Upon returning home, you can decide how you would like to spend the rest of the day. Each action will affect the other members of the family, as well as their attitude towards you. Each character's attitude can provide you with or deprive you of certain bonuses. Example, reputation or relations with factions. Your young son is special. His attitude makes the other family members like you slightly more. Take good care of him. Okay. Frederick, our little musketeer here, he kind of likes us, and if he really likes us, apparently everyone else likes us a bit more. But now, he's not too happy with us. I think this is our daddy. He's okay, and our wife is a little bit on the cold side. She's a little bit on the, but she does have resting bitch face. Like, I'm sorry, but that woman has resting bitch face. Okay, we can have a political debate. It's time for the grown men to talk about the revolution's achievements. It should be an interesting exchange. I read this. I'm not entirely certain how it works. I think she doesn't care if I do this. He likes it. He dislikes it. And he doesn't care either. I think those two don't care. He dislikes it and he likes it. The word grown men makes me believe that dad also should like the fact. But it looks to me like he dislikes it. Paragraphs and goes. Bernard's musical interest notwithstanding, he needs to learn some more prospective skills, and law can be an art in its own. So that makes our dad like us more, but our wife and our other son hate us a little bit more. We can make a violin concerto. I think all three of them like it, but dad hates it. Bernard needs to learn how to deal with stage fright if he wants to be a professional musician. He will have to endure an hour of racket and demonstration. Those two hate it, and those two like it. Take his sons to a pro-revolution demonstration. Let them see real life up close. I think just because it's for all three, and again, I'm gonna suffer through it. I don't like it, but I think he can take the hit. I'll suffer through it, and he'll learn something. Maybe he'll become a great musician, and we'll do that. Let's see if that is actually how it works. Again, I'm not sure. He hated the hell out of that. He didn't really mind too much. She really enjoyed the fact that we did that. So did he. Oh, and he now activated his trait, I think. I think he now activated his trait. So that's a good thing. Day 2, Liberté. And I think this is a good cutoff point for the first episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm gonna see you guys on the second episode. I'm having good fun so far. I hope so are you guys. And I'm gonna see you guys around. I'm gonna see you on the second episode, I hope. Have a good one. Bye bye.